Greetings, this is Unit 7, Module 4, Session 1. The name of this home connection is Variables and Expressions. It is a two-pager. Make sure you put your name and number at the top, please. Sometimes people use letters to represent unspecified amounts. Such letters are called variables. For example, if you worked for $6 an hour, you would multiply the time you worked by 6 to find out what you earned. If we let t represent the time you worked, we could show the amount of money you earned with this expression, 6 times t. When we say evaluate the expression when t equals 3, we mean figure out how much money you would make if you worked for 3 hours. To do this, substitute 3 for t and complete the calculation. So, I'd like to just say this in words that might make a little bit more sense. If you get paid $6 an hour, you take 6 times however many hours you work. Okay? So if let's maybe come in here a little bit closer. So if I work, what do I do? A little table here. Here's my ratio table. If I work 1 hour, I get $6. Okay? If I work 2 hours, I get $12. If I work 3 hours, I get $18. If I work 4 hours, I get $24. So every time I increase by 1 hour, I increase by $6. The faster way might be to just take the number of hours times 6. So if I worked, 100 hours, I can take that times my $6 and know that I'm going to get paid $600. Wow! So what we're saying in this home connection is that we're going to call the time that you work t. T stands for time. So as long as I know that what I get paid every hour, 6, I can put any number of hours here and my equation is complete. In the paragraph down below it said, when we say evaluate the expression t equals 3, this fancy sentence right here, so fancy I'm going to highlight it, evaluate the expression when t equals 3. You're going to, especially as you get older and you're in math, that's kind of how they're going to word that. Evaluate the expression when t equals 3. That just means put a 3 in for t. Evaluate the expression. Well, here's the expression, 6 times t. So evaluate it when t is 3. Just put a 3 in there, and then your equation is complete. So anytime you see these words, evaluate the expression, what they're trying to tell you is that variable, that letter that we don't know, they're going to tell you what to put there, and then they want you to solve, okay? So here's an example. Evaluate the expression 6 times t when, first one says t equals 2. So what did we say to do? Instead of writing 6 times t, they say that t is 2. So we're just going to replace this t with a 2. So I can write the 6. That's fine. I can write the times. But I'm not going to write the t. No. It says t equals 2. So I'm going to put 2 in there. And I know that I'm going to be making $12 because I worked 2 hours. And I get paid $6 every hour. So that's $12. Okay? Let's take a look. I'm going to let you do the next 3 on your own. Pause this video and do that, please. And then when you're done with that, we're going to do number 2. It says, how much money would you make if you worked 15 hours and earned $6 per hour? So our equation doesn't change. Still getting $6 per hour, but we're going to work 15 hours. So that's how we're going to solve. It's the exact same equation. It just didn't say evaluate the expression. It could have said evaluate the expression 6 times t when t equals 15, right? They just put it in more of a word problem, okay? So when you go through here, if you're going to do grouping, great. If you just want to, if you just want to use the standard algorithm, please do, but I'm going to let you solve that one. Evaluate the following expressions when each variable has the shown value. So they've got 4 plus b And they're going to tell you, well, let's just say that B is 10. So all you have to do is replace B with 10, which is what they did here, and 4 plus 10 is 14. If I zoom in, that's not how you zoom. If I zoom in on this one, 4 plus B when B equals 23. So just ignore this B and pretend it says 23. And that's your equation, okay? What about, let's see, this one over here. 4 plus B when B is 103. Well, it says that B is 103. So all you have to do is substitute, put the value in that they tell you into the equation. And I'm not going to solve these per se. I might do maybe this last one just to show you how we need to do some things first. Because when we see parentheses, we know that we have to solve that first. We need to know what's inside the parentheses before we start thinking about what's on the outside. So it says K is 10, so I'm just going to get rid of, not that way. I'm going to get rid of this K. Oh, what if I did? You know what I haven't done? I wonder if this will work. Oh, that's kind of fun. I'd have to make it a lot bigger though, wouldn't I? I don't want to take too much time. Okay, there we go. So it says if K is 10. So I'm just going to put a 10 in there. Okay? And like I said before, we need to solve what's in here first. Okay? That says 10 plus 12. We know that the answer to that is 22. Now I can do 2 times whatever was in those parentheses. And I'm going to let you solve that. Okay? So when you do those other equations on this page, let me highlight them just so that you can see them. You have to do the inside first, do the inside of the parentheses first, do the inside of the parentheses first. Take a minute and work on these problems, please. Danny is trying to earn money to buy a new bike. His neighbor says he will pay him $4 per hour to help with yard work. His mom says she will give him a $10 bill to add to his savings after he helps his neighbor. Which expression shows how much money Danny will make? The letter H stands for the number of hours Danny will work for his neighbor. Now, I am just going to say that I think it's really important that we try to figure out $4 per hour, and H stands for hour. On the previous page, do you remember what it said? So that person got paid $6 per hour, and we used T to represent time. Okay, so you just took 6 times the number of hours you worked. Well, on this problem, it says $4 for every hour. So can't we just replace this $6 with $4? And can't we just replace the T with an H? And then we should be okay? So $4 per hour. So $4 times the number of hours you work. Let's see if we find that in any of our choices below. I do not see it. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I do not see it in this one. I do see a 4 times H here. I do see a 4 times H here. I do not see a 4 times H here. Okay, so let's look at our 2 middle choices and see what makes the most sense. His mom says, so we just have to figure out which one of these is correct. And it says, his mom says she will give him a $10 bill after he's done. So if you're going to give $10, what's the operation for that? Are you going to add a 10 times the number of hours or just add a 10? It doesn't say his mom will give him a $10 bill for every hour he works. No, just at the end after he's done. So I am a big fan of this one here. I didn't mean to use that color. Because that says that you're going to work get $4 every hour, and then at the end you're going to add 10. Now it says in our equation, or it says in our question, how much money will Danny make if he works 4 hours with his neighbor? Well, I'm going to just rewrite the equation. 4 times H plus 10. But I'm just going to take this h. I don't know if this will work. It won't, so I'll just get rid of it. Just get rid of this h and put in the 4. Why am I putting a 4 in here? Well, because it says he's going to work 4 hours. H stands for hours, so I'm just going to put the 4 in here. We must make sure that we do the 4 times 4 first. That is called the order of operations. You must do any of the multiplication first before you do addition and subtraction, okay? 4 times 4, let's make sure that we do this correctly, is 16. Now we can add 10 to have a total of $26. Okay. It says, if Danny wants to earn $34, how many hours will he have to work? Show all your work. Well, let's write our equation down. We know that you get $4, and we're going to take that times the number of hours you work, which we don't know. So I'm going to leave that as an H because it says how many hours. We don't know. But we do know that we do get to add $10 at the end. And when we're done doing that, we should have a total of $34. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, this looks like a lot. But we just wrote everything we know, and we're going to try to figure out what we need here. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to forget this $10, okay? So if I get rid of it, pretend like we never made $10. Well, I'm probably going to take 10 away from our total, and that's going to help us a lot, and you'll see why in a second. So if I do that, what do I have? $4 times a certain number of hours equals 24. Well, now my equation is a lot more simple because I can just say 4 times what is 24. Well, my math facts tell me that 4 times 6 is 24. So we need to work 6 hours in order to make that money. If we're not sure, couldn't we double check our answer? You bet we could. So let's write our equation with our new information. 4 times 6, that's the number that we think is correct, plus 10 equals 34. Let's see if this is right. Don't forget, the first thing that we have to do is 4 times 6, okay? So that's 24. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. 24 plus 10 equals 34. I'm going to combine the 24 and the 10, and guess what? 34 does equal 34. My equation is perfectly balanced, so I know we are correct. Let's take a look at this challenge problem. It says pick one of the expressions from problem 3 above that does not represent Danny's situation. Describe a situation where the expression you chose would represent how much money Danny would make. So if I go up here and I look at any of the other 3 choices, let me put a little green around them. So it could be that one, we could do that one, or we could do that one. Well, to me, if I look at that one, that's the easiest. I don't want to do that one. That one says 14 times time. So that would be if you get $14 every hour. That's your equation. I don't want to do that one. This one is kind of confusing because this would be $4, $10, plus the number of hours. So I'm not sure how that would work. I guess maybe that would be like you get paid $1 for every hour. So if mom gives you $4 and your friend gives you $4, so you have $14 to start. But if you work 1 hour, you get an extra buck. 2 hours, $2. 3 hours, $3. Okay, because that's just adding. This one, though, I kind of like, and I'm going to write that down below. 4 times h plus 10 times h. We know that h represents time. So in this equation, I kind of think of this as being in 2 parts. I have this part and I have this part. So for some reason, you're getting $4 every hour because h is time, right, hours. But then you're also going to get $10 every hour because we have another h in here. So what I might say, because it kind of wants like a story problem on how this works down below, is I might write something like this. Danny's friend. Oops. Then I might make this a little faster. How about this? That's a little faster. Danny's friend pays him $4 per hour, and his mom pays him $10 per hour. So this would be what his friend pays him, this is what his mom pays him, and then you add it all together. Okay? Let's see if we answered everything that we needed to. This expression would show how much money Danny would make if, yeah, that's exactly right. So if you have questions about any of this, make sure you ask a math wizard. They love to help you. Your teachers love to help you. Otherwise, we will check you later.